Scream 7 is the most clickbait movie ever. It's meant to please you if you have been a fan from the very beginning. Otherwise, if someone loses the evolution that has been going through for the last two movies. Let's talk about it. Scream 7 is all about going back to the basics, but at the cost of leaving behind what helped Scream 5 and Scream 6 evolve into something new, something fresh. And the clickbait here is that it makes you believe that a certain character will be back in this franchise once again. Scream 7 takes place about 30 years after the original murders. Sidney Prescott's quiet suburban life is upended when a new Ghostface emerges. The killer uses advanced technology to target her teenage daughter, Tatum, forcing Sidney to confront her past. Scream 7 was one of my most anticipated movies of this year of 2026. I had really high hopes for it. And this is why it hurts for me to say this out loud, but this movie is really mid. It's not complete trash like how people are trying to claim it to be. It's all about going back to the past. It's all about member berries. It's all for the sake of fan service to make all the fans come back once again. And honestly, it worked because Scream 7 had the highest grossing box office for the opening weekend from the whole franchise. And this is just showcasing how 7 movies in, this franchise is still very much alive. You can clearly tell it was going back to the basics from the very opening scene. One thing though that I have to point out that I really liked was the idea of Ghostface being an animatronic. I got two behind me, and that scene was chef's kiss. And that's what I like about the Scream movies. I like how it incorporates technology from the outside world into the actual franchise itself. And hell, even with the opening title with the Scream, it was very reminiscent to the previous or the original trilogy. And that's when I realized it might be one of those kind of movies, but I was still crossing my fingers hoping it was good. After that scene, what the hell do we see? We see a reenactment of the very first scene with Billy and Sidney. We see Tatum's boyfriend going through her window now this time around. And I was thinking, oh man, I still want to be positive. After that, we are then introduced to new characters, which to me somewhat felt like a drag. Don't get me wrong though, I do love seeing Sidney happy with her family, like her daughter, Tatum, she's a regular high school girl, and her husband, Mark, is a very impressive cop. The thing here for me is, before Scream 7, we had Scream 5 and Scream 6 with two already well-established characters, which were Sam and Tara, and now being reintroduced again to newer characters, for me it just slowed down the film by a lot. And then we get to meet even more new damn characters after that, who were Tatum's friends, which honestly I cannot care at all for. And fortunately, soon after that, Ghostface goes back into the picture and begins killing them off one by one. And that's when the movie for me began getting good once again. Those kills are freaking insane. This is really gory, and there was one scene in particular where Ghostface kills someone with their guts just falling off into the floor. It was steamy and it was pretty freaking crazy. Another badass scene that I thought was pretty memorable was when Ghostface kills someone with the knife right through their head, and you see the eyeballs going from the right to the left. And I was thinking, yep, this is why we're here. And then another pretty cool kill scene that I thought was pretty memorable was when Ghostface picks up someone and puts their head on top of a pointy beer tap and puts them right down into that, and it goes right through their freaking head. Another thing that was also memorable in this movie was the amazing entrance for Gale Weathers. I was very lucky to see Scream 7 in New York in AMC Lincoln Square 13, and holy crap, that IMAX theater is freaking humongous. And in that scene in particular, people were going crazy, clapping like never before, and that energy, it just added to the whole environment and the whole movie itself. It was pretty phenomenal, honestly. But back to the movie, because the theater experience is one thing, but I'm gonna separate that to the actual movie itself. So I will say it was amazing seeing Sidney and Gale in the Scream once more together. That's the thing though. For me, I feel that Gale Weathers was extremely underutilized here. And talking about being underutilized, half of the core 4 were here as well. Chad and Mindy. I feel that they were there just to be there and bring those fans from Scream 5 and 6 back into this movie again. Because honestly, they were there for no purpose at all. You can take them out of the whole plot or the whole movie and they wouldn't make any difference at all. And that sucks because I actually really like them too. But here, they were just wasted. I really did like and appreciate how they took time to show some repercussions of the fight from Scream 6 with Gale Weathers and Ghostface. It sucks that she was in pain, and it sucks seeing her be the way that she is now. And I really honestly feel bad for her. I know it's a fictional character, but damn, she has been through some shit. There was a scene where it was Sidney and Gail, and then Sidney runs off to go save her daughter, leaving Gail behind. But thing is, Gail wasn't one driving them around, so I'm thinking that's kind of stupid. Why don't you just ask her for a ride to at least drop you off to go save your daughter? But then by the end of the movie, I realized that Sidney wanted to leave her behind, her being Gail, to save her from more trauma or more pain. Talking about pain, and I have to admit, Sidney's husband Mark, he is a freaking badass. He knows how to fight good and he knows how to take punches, and let's just say that he knows how to fight Ghostface very well here. And then on top of that, Sidney is a given. She's a freaking fighter, and every single time she fights Ghostface here, it's intense, it's brutal, and you feel it for sure. I loved seeing Sidney be with someone like Mark because they both can for sure fight off Ghostface like nothing. This movie was so well directed that you felt the intensity from all the fights here, and that to me is a big plus. And not just the fights, but also the kills, because again, some of them are pretty gory, and that to me is another plus. We go see Scream for the actual killer here, for the mastermind. We wish to know what are their motives, their reasoning, why are they so obsessed. And here, the actual reveal. No spoilers, but this one was a slap in the face. This reveal was honestly one of the worst ever in my opinion. When I saw who it was, I was thinking, who in the hell is that? That reveal is what took me out of the whole moment and made me go back and think, you know what? This movie is not as good as I thought it actually is. I was trying so hard to be positive. I was trying so hard to point to something that's actually good. And all for this? Yeah, dumbest shit ever. And that's why I know that this movie and the plot, everything about it was rushed. It's almost as if the writer just threw shit on the wall to see what actually stuck. And trust me, that shit did not stick at all. If you've seen the trailers for Scream 7, then you know the big selling point here is the return of Stu. And this is not a spoiler because his voice is actually in the end of each trailer. But this is what I'm talking about when I say that this is the most clickbait movie ever. Because what's established in this movie regarding his return is just awful. I should have known better than to fall for this shit to begin with, honestly. This alone just adds to the pile of me knowing that this movie was actually rushed. It was rushed for the sake of making fans come back. Fans from the original, fans from the outside who knows and loves Stu, all for them to be clickbaited into watching this movie. The plot itself needed the most work. I for sure can sense that it was rushed to meet a deadline, but for me, all the characters were just forgettable. Aside from Mark, Sidney, Gail, Tatum kind of redeemed herself by the end because she's still trying to figure out who she really is, so props to her for knowing who she can be down the line. But everyone else is just forgettable. I will exclude Chad and Mindy from this because they were just underutilized, so it's not their fault. They could have been taken out of the script and it wouldn't have made a difference at all. And then like I said a moment ago, the reveal was just crap. I mean, come on, man. For Scream 5 and Scream 6, we were going towards a whole different direction. It was still Scream in itself, but it was evolving. It was being something different, something unique. And all that is all now just gone. Really quickly though, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The fact that Billy's daughter Sam and her half-sister Tara are now both gone from this franchise. It sucks because I really like what they were trying to do with Sam. You got a hint that they were trying to pave the way for her to be the next Ghostface down the line somehow. And I'm hoping that down the line they bring them back because after all, Sidney Prescott came back, so maybe they will bring Sam and Tara back as well. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not saying Sidney does not belong being a top because she truly does. She is the face of this franchise and she is the true Scream Queen. But again, I just loved where they were trying to take Sam in this franchise, but fingers crossed, that's all I can say, fingers crossed. I for one really miss Sam's presence here because come on, wouldn't it be amazing if down the line if Sam is fighting Sidney or vice versa and one of them is Ghostface? That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? So in conclusion, this movie has amazing kills. It has some great intense fight scenes. It was well directed. And going back to the basics is fine, but overdoing it just takes away from everything that was already preset before, all for the sake of fan service. There is a lot in this movie for all Scream fans to actually enjoy, just that the plot needed a lot of more work to be done. And you can tell everything was rushed, all because of the drama behind scenes. I will say this, clearly trauma runs in the family in this one, but this all leads me to my rating for this film. And for this one, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. This is still the true cinematic experience in theater. I recommend going on a day when it's half the price or earlier in the day when it's cheaper. Well, thank you for your time today, my cinematic family. You are a true cinephile for sticking to the end. Please hit the subscribe button and maybe the like button if you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on Scream 7 if you've seen it or if you plan on seeing it. And by the way, thank you for your patience. I've been out and about traveling, but I am officially back. Well, I am Chuy, and this is Chuy Cinematic Talk. Take care, and I'll see you next time.